What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Wilson, JWill07, Instagram, Twitter, Jay Wilson on Facebook, northfinusa on all over social media, northfinusa.com. Check that out. So you saw the issue we had with losing all the fish. I don't know anything else to say. I had somebody tell me that they thought I did this for video views. Get the heck out of here. I would never intentionally kill any fish, number one. And number two, the stress and the money that I would lose is absolutely stupid to even think that that's what I would do, or any YouTuber for that matter. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. So I contacted the local water company to find out what actually happened. Now, it was very difficult because that specific day, we couldn't get the water company out. So I was in Oklahoma, the situation happened here in Texas. So when I got back, I called the water company, they came and they told me a few things that, well, one made sense and two didn't make any sense. And then I kind of put two and two together and I found out exactly what happened. And a lot of it just was complacency, was rushing, was, wanted to do some good, but was trying to get out of the office because it was a weekend. So let me explain to you what happened. When the water supply company came out, they said, well, we purchase our water pre-treated from another location, which happens to be about 35 minutes north of here. When it comes in, it is already pre-treated and there's not much we do to the water, stated the water company. So I said, okay, well, I'd like to test the ammonia because the ammonia was coming out pretty hardcore in terms of the API test kit, which I'm going to tell you is not 100% accurate. Although it is a gauge to help you within this hobby and your passion or business, it is not something you should solely live by. You should also pay attention to your fish and remember that other variables will play a huge role into what exactly is going on into your aquarium. So when I talked to the guy, he pulled it out and he said, well, ammonia here we typically like to be within the 0 range to 0.6 ppm ammonia within your drinking water. And it was 0.6. Now, whether it spiked during that day, I do not know. However, the API test kit was registering 2.0 ppm and possibly higher depending on the way you see color in the spectrum. So, needless to say, there was ammonia within the aquarium water and the water going into the aquarium based upon the tests that were done that I was not here for. So I'm only speaking on the information that I was provided. The other thing is that water was 15 to 18 degrees Celsius at that time. Now I haven't done the conversion because I'm doing this video, and I want you to tell me in Fahrenheit what that is. Needless to say, that is cold. It is too cold for African cichlids, and that leads me to believe that this was an accumulation of things that transpired. One, there were small amounts of ammonia, and I don't necessarily know how the dechlorinator was added or the water treatment was added. I do know, however, that prime was used, not safe. So I'm not sure if enough was added or if it was added early on and it was negated and didn't take out enough by the time the water volume was added. I do not know. All I know is that cold water was added, shocked the fish. There was ammonia slightly present in the tap water, but okay levels, and levels that should have been mitigated by Seachem Prime. And three, the fish went into some sort of degradation of a shock, which when anything happens like that to even the human body, well, what happens? Our immune system breaks down, we're susceptible to things that may be on a smaller level. So even if there was trace amounts, it just simply targeted these fish even more. Now the crazy part is it only happened in the singular tanks. It did not happen in the rack system, which leads me to believe that the filtration in the rack system helped to reduce all of the major issues faster than adding the water directly to the aquarium. So he added the water to the sump in the rack system, and he added the water, the dechlorinator, Seachem Prime. So to me, by the time it got to each and every one of those aquariums, which if it's true, the first two tanks that the water gets to, there was no fish in. So there could have been time which helped, and it was heated from the sump. So that definitely played a huge role. When he added the water directly to the tanks or the aquariums, what happened? The fish were directly impacted, were instantly impacted. And I believe that led to the degradation of those fish because only those fish were the ones that died. The ones that were in the rack system did not. And the amazing part is when people talk about diseases and purchasing fish from somewhere, I had fish from a lot of different places that I purchased from die, and some fish just survived. Some fish are genetically hardier than others. Doesn't matter where they're from, just some fish are genetically hardier and have more of a resistance to a lot of these issues that we may cause or that are directly impacted through the water column. So folks, don't add cold water. Test your water often. Pay attention to the fish, and if you see something out of the ordinary, like really active flashing, rubbing up against the glass, rocks, scraping themselves because there's some sort of contaminant, pay attention to that. Pay attention to labored breathing that isn't involved from being chased. These are things that can alert you to stop a catastrophe. Let's not talk about any more bad. We've got fish coming Wednesday. I'm super pumped. This was an amazing learning experience for me because this is the first time, well, actually, this is the second time that I had fish die off. One was about 4 years ago, and it was caused directly from it was called fluid filter medium, and it just ripped the oxygen out of my tank, and I never used it again and never had an issue. And now this, which I was not directly associated with this, however, they were my fish, and I felt that I needed to talk to you folks about it so that you can understand the issues. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you subscribing. There's some really cool stuff at northfinusa.com. If you order from northfinusa.com and you do an unboxing video on YouTube, or you tag us on YouTube, you give us a shout out, you do it on Facebook, you do it on Instagram, you do it in groups, and you tag northfinusa, we're going to give you some bonus points if you're signed up for our bonus reward program. The more you do, the more you get, and once you tag us, private message us at northfinusa on Facebook, and we'll make sure that we add those points to your account so that you can get some free stuff. Now let me show you a little bit of video for the Shelly tank. Come on. Feeling super pumped about this tank. We've got a few more fish that are going to be added Wednesday, but all of the Shellys survived the move. They're doing wonderful. They're active in and out of their shells. These little bullies love to just mess around. They're full of personality. So if you've got 15 gallons or more and you've got a ton of shells, these guys, the Brevis Sunspot, are something I would highly consider. Folks, Shellys are an amazing fish that can be added to a small space in an apartment, in a bedroom, in a college dorm. These are it. So if you can't get the haps or the peacocks because you just don't have enough space, you can still have awesome with Lake Tanganyika. Check out Lake Tanganyika. It's something that is just simply stunning to me, and it's really neat. Hashtag Team Tang. So check out all this stuff on Google. You can look up Lake Tanganyika and shell dwellers, but they are active and they are fun. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, unsubscribing, tweeting, retweeting, disliking, liking, commenting, constructively, unconstructively, and just plain not liking what I do is okay because it helps me to grow. You know what's next. Holla!